Here we go. All right. Welcome, everyone. Happy almost December. And we are starting this training series to kick off, a 4-week series of trainings to prepare us for, the new year. And it's a good time to start preparing ourselves mentally. And as I say, with all the tools we need in our tool belt to do this business well. So I'm super excited and proud of you all that you are on here. We have got people still logging on. And, for the fact that you're on this Zoom right now means that you care. You care about your business. You want to learn, and you want to grow. And so it's important to get on, Zoom calls, no matter who's doing it. And, we all learn from each other. And there's always going to be something new or encouraging that's going to take us to the next step in our business. So today we're talking about what to expect in this business. This is I hope y'all can hear me okay. This is a different type of business, unlike anything else out there, because we are entrepreneurs and we have our own business and we represent ourselves. Yes, we represent a company, but we also represent ourselves in how we do business. And so we're going to talk about various things tonight. I'll just quickly read off the list for you. Some subjects that will hopefully help you in a comforting way, actually, to know that what you're experiencing, you're not alone, and that it's actually normal to experience these things in this line of work. So we're going to be talking about, first off, our family and friend haters, the people that do not support us, that actually might even drag us down with negativity. We're going to be talking about when people say no. Crickets, those radio silent messages that when people don't respond. People that are supposed to sign up and then they don't. What do you do with that? When your dream teamer doesn't join you, when people quit, and when people stop commenting on, when your potentials, I should say, stop commenting on your Facebook posts and you think, man, is this really worth it? Should I really be posting? Nobody's commenting anymore. I'm not getting any response, and you're left questioning things. So first, we are going to start off with a special guest, Senior Gold Ambassador Amy Matazzaro. And the first topic we're going to dive into is family and friends that don't support us. And I think you'd be surprised to know how many people at the top of this company that have family and friends that don't support them. Melissa Eichenhorst, one of our Diamond Upline, her own mother has never taken the pink drink and will never take the pink drink. Aaron Bush's sister, she basically is so very jealous and has done really hurtful things behind her back and publicly on social media. Rachel Clausen, her mom was a big skeptic in the beginning. And we've all had, and I have some of my closest friends that I would have thought would be joining me don't care to join me. Like I thought that we would be running this business together, traveling, going to the top of the company, and all be darned, they're not here. It's like the people that I least expected to join me are here, and the people that I was expecting to join me are not. And so you've got to keep that in mind with this business. You can't let it make or break you. So Amy has some experience with this, as when she first started Plexus, she had a lack of support. And so I'm going to let Amy open us up and kind of share her story and let you all hear and learn. So Amy, take it away.
Hello, everyone. And I get to go first so I can go to bed because I'm here on the East Coast and I am already ready to go to sleep. So Short and sweet. I had some close family members. I feel like I should be careful about who I say because you never know, they might watch these videos someday. So I don't want to gossip, but I had some close family members who were not very supportive at all. I had someone tell me that I was harming my son for giving him a probiotic and that I had to go to his doctor and make sure I got approval from his doctor to take a probiotic. Those same people were also making fun of me and laughing at me kind of behind my back, but not really in person at holiday get-togethers and whatnot. And fast forward, so that was very hurtful, and I had to do a lot of really personal growth and professional development and whatnot to kind of work through that. But fast forward a year and a half later, and they no longer think I'm harming my son, and they're no longer directly hurtful, but they're still not very supportive. So they kind of just think I'm silly and crazy plexus, whatever. But it was a huge kind of roadblock at the beginning of this adventure.
You really doubted whether you should continue.
Yeah. It was hard because you want at least your immediate family and your in-laws and your best friends to support you. And speaking of that, I had like one of my closest friends, one of my dearest friends, and we are still close friends. She was my dream teamer. I was ready to take off running with her. I was super excited. Like we talked about going to Hawaii and just running together. After like a month, she quit. And after like 2 months, she quit the products. So that was really hard. And that not only took a toll on me, like emotionally, but our friendship too. We kind of had to work through that. But you just never really know how things are going to go down. And I do think we should be excited about our dream teamers, but you just never really know who's going to take off running with you. And like Autumn said, I've had people, some of my current runners, I never would have expected to like be doing this business with them, but here we are and it's great. It's fun. But you just never really know. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to share about kind of what it took for me to get over unsupportive family and friends.
Yeah, because a lot of people, that can just leave them in shambles. They just think this business is going to work, and that stops them right there dead in their tracks.
Exactly. And I will be honest with you, it hurts. It still stings when family and friends are not supportive, or, I'm watching people unfollow me on Facebook, like family, and it still hurts. But it took me, first of all, I didn't realize how much I actually cared what people thought of me when I first started working in the business. I thought that was like high school. I was like way over that. No, I was not. So one thing I love most about this business is how much, plexus aside, how much personal growth takes place when you are really working the business and not letting anything or anyone get in your way. It is a completely refining process if you let it be. And I am letting it be because I want to be a better person. I want to always be growing personally. So this has just been an opportunity for me to really do that, whether I wanted to or not. I didn't know it was coming, but it came. But yeah, I didn't really know how much I actually cared about what people thought of me. So I had to kind of work through that. And I feel like I came to this place in my business where I had like two options. I could let all of that unsupport overcome me, or I could figure out what I needed to do to overcome that so that I could keep moving forward in my business because I wanted to work the business. It was working the business, and my whys were way bigger than what family and friends were saying and doing. So much bigger than that. So it really came down to mindset and working on doing a lot of personal development to move past that.
Yeah, and there's Darlene Cornelius. She's a Sapphire, almost 80-year-old ambassador in the company. She did a live for our team page back months ago. And she talks about, surrounding yourself with positive people, because we're all going to have naysayers. And if you surround yourself with positivity, people that are supporting you, That's one of our goals, is to overcome, like Amy said, but then also, find that support amongst your team and amongst your upline. And, we have to remember that people don't understand, like they don't understand. And, it's funny, and I know Amy, you'll agree, is like when they get over here to Plexus, like then they get it. Like, let's say they were a naysayer and then like they start to warm up and then we finally get them over. It's like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. Like the people and company and what the products are doing. So don't let other people's opinions determine your future, your financial future, your goals. There's always that saying, other people's opinions don't pay our bills. So there has to come a point where you have to overcome and, be that stronger person to not let their opinions get in your head. Well, thank you, my friend.
I wanted to share one more thing that reminds me. I totally forgot that at the very beginning of this, my dad was not very supportive, and he was like, Amy, you really want to get into this network marketing stuff and all of that? And he was on Testimony Tuesday a few weeks ago sharing his testimony, and he loves Plexus now. So
yeah, he does. He sure does. And I just looked up some good quotes. Amy, if you need to get off, you can go. Thank you so much for being on. Your life isn't yours if you constantly care what others think, and what people say is a reflection of them, not you. And that's so true. I have never been mean or unsupportive to anyone in network marketing prior to being here myself. So it really is something on them and a reflection of them. You also have to keep in mind that we are swimming against the current of society. We are trained as a young child that, we grow up and we go to pursue a 9-to-5 job. And, that's something different. That's not the norm. And so what happens is the book, Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, Darren Hardy talks about, there's reasons why people are mad or more like jealous of you. And one of those reasons can be that you become like a mirror to them. So, they ultimately desire to do what you're doing, and they desire financial freedom, and they desire to make money from home. But then those disempowering questions come in, what if I fail at this? How can I be successful? And then they start doubting themselves before they've even begun their mindset once again. And then it turns into jealousy because it shows that you have overcome that in which they don't believe that they can do. And so there might be some people that are just flat out jealous because of what you're doing, and they ultimately desire to do the same, but they can't quite overcome, their own mindset, their own fear. And so I think that about does it for family and friends. I mean, you're going to have people just expected in this business. And now, Rachel, we're going to jump into our next subject.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Okay, so mine is that I'm covering right now is going to be on no, the all 2 letters of the powerful word no. And I think a lot of us have kind of an issue with people telling us no in this business. Some of us allow it to roll off our shoulders. Others allow it to really bother us. And we tend to dwell on, like I said, those 2 little letters. And I'm going to be going probably with everything that I end up saying tonight, going back to mindset. And just like Amy said, and Autumn, mindset is crucial in this business. If you cannot or don't create this foundation of mindset, positive mindset, and moving forward, it is going to be a very difficult road. And it's going to be a difficult path to to do this business because everything you're going to be told no. You're going to be told no a heck of a lot more than you're going to be told yes. And you have to, I watched this video the other day from Janelle Espling, and one of the questions that she had answered was about being told no. And there are some of us, like I was thinking about it when people tell me no, I'm like, okay, like whatever. And for me, it's because in my mind, their no is really going to be a yes eventually. It may not be today. It may not be 6 months from now. It may not be 2 years from now. But I can tell you, the majority of the people, I'll say maybe 95% of the people that I have contacted about Plexus have either told me no or not right now, and they have joined me. And it has nothing to do with me personally that they're not wanting to join or why they're telling me no. It has everything at where they are at in their time world. So anything that's going on in their life, it may be financial, it may be just, something is going on and they need to get stuff, squared away. So just because someone says no to you doesn't mean that it's like no for the rest of your life. It's like if you have kids and you tell, you're at the grocery store and your child goes over to a snack section and is like, Mom, can we get this? And you're like, no. It's not like you're telling them no, literally you're not going to have that snack forever and for the rest of your life. It's no, not right now. And that's basically what people are telling us. Now, granted, you are going to have a group of people, a very small percentage that no may be a very firm no. My family members, I have several of them that are no. And, it gets to that point where I say, okay, there is nothing I can do. They love me, they know me, they trust me, but whatever it is in their mind, it is just not the right time for them. And, I see some of the comments in the Plexus Wellness chat where, people are like, well, this person told me no, and I'm really bummed out. And that's where you have to stop. That's where you have to really say, okay, this one person out of how many on your friends list? Let's say 500. One out of 500 people have told you no. Okay, maybe 10 out of 500. I mean, that is still a very, very small percentage of people that are actually telling you no. And if you can look at, and it's kind of like this. If you have, and this is kind of a rabbit trail, sorry. If you are a silver and you have one person out of the 3 people that are on your team working this business, I applaud you. I give you the biggest round of applause because 1 out of 3 people is already wanting to share the products. That's huge. I may have over 800 people and I only have maybe 20 out of 800 plus people that are actually working this business. So again, it's mindset, it's perspective, it's all how we look at that. And that single no, again, it goes back to of how we look at it. And we can either say, you know what, it's a no, no big deal. Moving on to the next person.
Mm-hmm. And I want to just take a little side note, to have you think about, and this is kind of more like another training, but have you think about, evaluate yourself, because people can give you no for a couple different reasons. Like Rachel said, people can give you a no. They know everything about Plexus. They just really don't care. They want to be, unsupportive, or they don't care about the products. But the no could be a reflection upon you and how you've gone about your business. So, that's another training, but consider, have I gone about this the right way? And, that's why self-development is so important too. Watching training videos, verbiage, which we're going to talk about in one of our future trainings, and just your posture in doing this business. Because if you seem pushy or if you seem desperate, then people are going to be turned off by that. And this is, an attraction marketing business. So, and it's also a relationship business. So, if you're just messaging someone that it's just a total random off the wall message and you come across desperate and pushy, well, of course you're going to get a no, so take a look at that. But for the most part, when you're really learning the ropes of this business and how to do it well, you've got to expect no's. And you know what, in the beginning, you're going to have no's, because you know what, we all have to learn. We all have to, crash and burn and feel like a fool multiple times until we learn to pick ourselves up, take a look at what we did wrong, improve, and move on. So it's just part of it. So you just have to take that as a learning experience. Think about what you could do better. Your upline can always take a look at your messages and maybe put in your 2 cents. But other than that, just understand whether it's your dream teamer that's telling you no. And also another thing in regards to that is that people a lot of times come back in this either to do this business or actually come back to do the products. Rachel and I, in the last 2.5 years, we've seen so many people that supposedly quit and now they're back because they're doubting if they took the products right or, whatever. They've maybe heard some more testimonies. So just know that, anything can happen in this business. And I also want to encourage you, before we close out this subject, is if someone is nasty or harsh, or just getting a no and getting that disappointment can sometimes stir up a little emotion in you, right? Until you get a little bit more used to it. So I want to encourage you to just sit on it for a while until your emotions calm down. There's no reason to respond right away. And gather your thoughts and gather some perspective and really think about what they've said. If I have someone that I've desperately been going after, I'm so eager to get them, and they turn me down, okay, I'm like, okay, I've got to process it. And I don't want to respond because I want to come across in a mature manner with integrity that doesn't look like I'm desperate, that looks like I'm confident, and that, she will look at my message and maybe consider me still in the future. So based on how I respond to her is going to say a lot. So just, don't get discouraged by no's. Anything else you want to add, Rachel?
Yeah, I just want to hit on one last thing real quick. So what Autumn was talking about with your dream teamer, I cannot begin to tell you how many times in the past 2.5 years that I have looked at certain people in my network and been like, oh my gosh, I just need this one person. This one person is literally going to completely change my business. And what I started to do was I started to get kind of fixated on this one person. And I wasn't working my business doing anything else except for I was so zoned in by just getting her on board. And I got her on board and I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the opportunity I have been waiting for. And you guys, she's a wholesaler. I get her 5 points. I love her. That's awesome. She's been a wholesaler for over 1.5 years. And it is just not, and for me looking at her, I shake my head because I think your potential is far more than you even know. But this is the thing, I can't want it for her. I can't make her do this. I mean, I can want all I want, and it doesn't mean I'm going to do anything. But what I noticed was, because I was so fixated on her being my dream teamer, it actually brought my mindset at that point in my business where I was like, man, like, I'm never going to find anybody. I thought this was my dream team, person. I built her up to be this amazing, just runner. And literally, she just is a sitter. Like, she just takes her product. And I mean, that's cool. So my whole point is just because we think certain people would be absolutely amazing, I'm not saying, don't not share the opportunity with them, because of course we want to share that with them. But I think Amy mentioned, like, you never know who you're going to sign that doesn't look like that dream team, or that just looked like the wholesaler, that actually runs with this business and does incredible things. So just like I said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Look and make sure your time is spread out evenly, and that your mindset doesn't change, and you don't get let down if that person that you have just risen up on this pedestal doesn't quite do what you had expected them to do.
And that also goes back to not prejudging. That's why we don't want to prejudge. You because you don't want to miss out on someone that actually would be a runner, but you think, oh no, they wouldn't want this business, or, oh yeah, no, I won't bother with them because they don't seem like they'd be good. So don't ever prejudge. Okay, so moving on to crickets. Oh, don't we love this subject, crickets? Okay, what I'm talking about is those messages that, let's say the special that you guys have been sharing about, or maybe you invite them to a 7-day challenge and you see that they've read it, and well, what do you know? They don't respond. And so then you're like, oh my gosh, well, what do I do? I mean, they didn't respond. So, I should probably just leave it that way, right? No, you do not leave a message that someone read and just leave it there to sit. Now, what you do is you want to give them at least, 24 to 48 hours. I recommend probably about 24 to respond, because there are times when people, they look at it, they're busy at the moment, and then they do come back to you. So you don't want to look like so desperate that you're like messaging them hours later. Give them at least 24 hours. And then you have ways to follow up with them. But you got to keep in mind what is taking place with these people that read our messages. And you are not alone. Every single person, all the way up to the diamonds in this company, it still happens. There is no, magic solution to get rid of this. You have to accept this as part of your business. And the more you do it, the more kind of comical it is to actually try and get people to respond back to you. It's like a game to me, I guess, these days. So you've got to keep in mind, why do people not respond? Well, there's lots of reasons. Sometimes people can, they're not on Facebook like we are as ambassadors, right? I mean, people just kind of check Facebook periodically throughout the day. So, let's say a mom is scrolling Facebook in the grocery store line, and she's busy, and she happens to, see your message and then gets distracted with something else, or her child, or it's time to check out, puts her phone down. She's not going to remember to come back to that message. She's now on with the rest of her day. So if you don't do your job in following back up with her, she might have wanted to join the 7-day challenge, or she might have wanted to take advantage of the special. But because she forgot, or because you forgot to follow up with her, then, it's over and done with. In fact, this just happened to me. One of my massage therapists that I see, she messaged me, I think it was on Black Friday, about a really great deal for massages that was only that day. And I'll be darned, yesterday I realized, oh my gosh, I didn't message her back. If she would have messaged me again, because I was busy the first time she messaged me, she would have messaged me again, then I would have remembered and purchased, a massage at a discounted price. But she didn't fully follow up. So she missed out on my business in that way. here soon, where I would go actually get the massage sooner than later. So, you've got to understand that. Also, a lot of times these days, kids have their parents' phones. So moms are missing text messages from, kids, or kids are opening up messages and stuff, and they don't even know that, you've messaged them. So there's those types of scenarios that happen, and I'd say happen more often than not. We never really fully know what's going on the other side, but there's been lots of times where people say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, and they tell me why they hadn't responded. So, but the other thing is that, of course, the obvious, that maybe people are just straight up ignoring us for some reason. And so some ways to keep that conversation going, or some examples that you can use, is if it's a voice message, you can say, you send your voice message, you give it 24 hours at least, you've seen they've read it, and make sure that they, it's been 24 hours since they've read it. If they just read it 2 hours ago, you don't want to jump the gun, but make sure it's been at least 24 hours since they've read it. And then if it's a voice message, you can say, hey, did those voice messages come through okay? Okay, so very simple. We have our verbiage page. We have some of these things on our verbiage page. The other thing you can say if it was a typed out message is something like, hey, sorry the timing didn't work out. I would never want my persistence to be annoying. So if you ever decide you want to take a look at what we're doing, give me a shout out. Or you can kind of tweak that to, whatever your conversation is about. You can also get a little comical, which some of our jewels do, and say, girl, don't leave me hanging, and send that that little emoji with the laughing face. And you're just kind of like laughing and making it lighthearted, like, girl, don't leave me hanging. Like, it's been 24 hours. Like, I asked you a question. So like, girl, don't leave me hanging. You can also send, is it called a GIF? The GIF, the little cartoons, video things. You can also send one of those to keep it lighthearted, whatever it is. So you find a way. I have also sent like 2 question marks and like a smiley face, depending on what it was, or the person and my relationship with them. So point is, you want to find some little way to come back to the message. And then typically if they ignore you after that, then for the most part, you can probably assume, okay, they're probably like purposefully ignoring me. So then your goal is to stop talking plexus. So you want to give them a break, and you're not going to talk any more plexus for a while. In fact, the next conversation you're going to have with them is non-plexus conversation. So, you're going to write their name down, and in the weeks ahead, you're going to comment on some of their posts, and then find something to come back to that message and just talk normal everyday life stuff. Or like, oh my gosh, I saw the picture of your family, your kids are getting so big. Something to get them talking again. Because your goal is to, keep that relationship going, so they know you're not just here nagging them about plexus. You actually care about their friendship, and you have other things to talk about. So that's so very important. So you get them talking again, and then when the time is right and they've talked to you and all that, maybe a couple weeks down the line or whatever the circumstances are, then you can bring up plexus again. Now, there are those couple people in my life that literally go silent every single time I bring up plexus. It is like beyond obvious that we will talk about normal things. They're silent on plexus. We'll talk about normal things. They're silent on plexus. It's weird. I don't know. But most of the time when you get them talking and then you keep building that relationship, then when you bring up plexus the next time, then usually they will give you some sort of response. Like, yeah, no, not interested right now. Or, yeah, go ahead and add me to that event. I'll go ahead and check it out, whatever it is. So just know that about crickets. You are not alone. Expect it. And then use those various examples to keep the conversation, bring it back to, hello, like we were talking here, I asked a question, and hopefully that will get them to answer. And then if not, move on and come back to them at another time. All right, Rachel is moving on to commenting on posts.
Yeah. So Yeah, commenting on posts is basically going to be when Autumn and I originally started Plexus, we did not have the One Plexus Pink Diamonds, let's see, what was it? One Plexus Pink Diamonds chat group where we could ask for love on all of our stuff. uh, and I don't even think at that point I knew you had to have 3 comments to make it go into your friends feed. I mean, it was like barbaric times back then. It feels like I feel like we have so overcome all of this. But one thing that I want to point out is with commenting on posts, it's not just about posting and comments. It's so much. That's like a piece of the puzzle. You really have to understand that a lot of like my business, I was talking about this last night with some friends, and I was saying, and she was saying how 85% of my business actually came from cold messaging. It wasn't just, that I was relying on all these people to comment on my posts that I'm interested. I mean, I see a lot of people and I see your comments, or I see your posts, and then I see your comments when we ask people, okay, if you're interested in a sample, do this, like pick a number or whatever. We didn't have any of that. At least I don't remember having any of that. And I mean, we didn't have people like our Facebook people really interacting that much on our stuff. And the thing is, you don't have to have your potentials commenting on your posts for them to be interested. And if you kind of stepped out of that super uncomfortable zone of, okay, they're seeing my posts, but now I have to cold message, you will have a far greater response by posting and by cold messaging. And I think I go over this literally every time we do some type of training, but I'm just going to tell you guys real quick. Like, this is the method to my madness when I am trying to reach out to people. Number one, you have to be intentional with your posts. You cannot post about pregnant moms to someone who is got high blood pressure or who is a diabetic. Those people are not going to pay attention, and they're not going to comment on your post. They're not going to participate in your stuff because they can't relate to it. And so, like I have said before, if you can really post intentionally to your crowd and you can gather them that way, you may have a higher chance of them commenting or being interested in your post. But the thing is, when I first joined and I started sharing the product, like I said, had hardly any comments on my posts. Yet I had a couple ambassadors on the team page who saw me ranking. And I remember them even coming to me and saying, wait a second, I don't hardly see any likes. I don't see any comments. Yet, how are you ranking? Like, I'm not even seeing people interested in your posts. And it was like, well, because I'm not relying just on those posts. I am relying on cold messaging people. I will post intentionally to those whom I'm going to reach out to and who I'm going to cold message, because I want the correlation between the cold message and the post to come together. But we cannot expect people to comment and be always interested in our stuff. We are on Facebook a lot. Like if the average person looks at their phone 150 times a day, I think a Plexus ambassador is literally like 50 times 150. Like I think we are literally on our phone probably 1,000 times a day. So we have to understand that not everybody is going to see our posts. This is why it is so important to post every single day. That doesn't mean you need to post 40 times a day. You just need to post one good solid post. But again, if you only have Plexus people commenting, that's okay. Don't be afraid to step out and think to yourself, okay, today's post was about blood sugar and it was about, you know, me taking my Slim drink, and then you go and you cold message those people and you just say, hey, I was thinking about you today. I was wondering, have you ever tried Plexus? And if they say no, then you say, oh my gosh, I have to send you a sample. Send me your address. And it's literally that easy. But again, you want them to have that correlation. And you also want to make sure that you're not just relying your success around the fact of people commenting or liking, especially potential.
Yeah, and make sure if you haven't seen Emily Gibson's video on the new Facebook algorithms, you know, that's important too, because that's changed a lot. So getting your posts seen, you know, it's important to go watch that video so you can learn the best way to help them be seen. Hold on, I think I need to mute. Hold on. I'll go in. Okay. Okay. Moving on to the next subject. When you're supposed to sign someone and they don't sign up, like you're like, okay, I'm waiting for this email to come through, or I'm waiting them to pop up in my back office, and no, they're just like gone. It's like they just fell off the face of the earth. It happens, and one of the best ways to avoid that is to actually get on the phone with the person. Sorry, hold on, and sign them up yourself so that you know, with them, sign up with them over the phone. That way, you know, you can pin them down and make sure that they get signed up. But if you find yourself stuck where they did not sign up, you weren't able to get on the phone with them, here is some ideas of what you can send them. And you know, it's just, you don't give up. That's the biggest thing I can say, is you don't give up, because it's going to show them that you value their business and that you care about them, and that, you know, they had committed to trying these products, and, you know, it's just not about letting them go. So I asked a couple people what they had said, just because I was kind of curious. One of our uplines said that she will ask them just straight up, okay, what happened? It's like, what happened? What happened? Why did you not sign up? Another thing you can say is, let me know when you sign up so I can send over your instructions. I'm so excited for you to get started. So it puts like this awkward tension on them. Like they know now that you're like eagerly awaiting their text message that they signed, and you're ready to send over the instructions, and you're so excited. And then it's like when they don't sign up, then, you know, you can give it like 24 hours, and then you can probably say, okay, what happened? You know, you can also say, I'm available. Like if they didn't get signed up, and say, hey, I noticed you didn't get signed up yet. You know what? I'm available tonight at 10 or tomorrow at 8 a.m. And giving people direct and specific times helps, because, and you can say, how about I call you at one of these times? And so it's such a bold move on your part. For them to just leave you hanging with no response is kind of, once again, one of those little awkward moments. So really be bold in saying, hey, I'm so excited to get you going. Since you haven't signed up yet, let me help you. How's 10 p.m. or 8 a.m.? And so just, those are some examples. You know, it's important that you don't just assume someone's going to sign up and never follow up again, because what can happen is that they secretly do go and sign up, and then there can be a mess up with their order. They can wind up under some other ambassador. You didn't even know, you weren't aware because you're too shy and bashful over here, and you didn't want to step out and be bold in helping them get started on their journey. So just keep that in mind, that it is so important to follow up. And, especially when they said they were going to order and they're committed. So, and know that you are not alone, that it still will happen to us. But the best way to not even have that happen is to really get them on the phone. So, okay, moving on to our last topic. And Rachel's going to talk a little bit about, and I will talk a little bit about too, when people quit, because people will join. And, whether they're wholesale or they are business builders, there's going to be people that quit throughout your journey.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but again, going back to mindset, it is crucial to have your mind basically in that positive direction, because hearing no's and people quitting, and you feel like you take 3 steps forward and 5 steps back.
The encouraging part that I have to throw in really quick is that this business still works. Rachel and I are still here, and we are Emerald, despite all this that we talked about. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, then that's the thing. Like I'm going to tell you, like, regardless too of mindset and all of that, it sucks. I mean, it is what it is. You want people to join you on this journey. You want people to stick around, but it's just nature and human nature. And it's one of those things where we have no control of this. And this goes back to why people say you cannot just walk with this business. If you walk with this business, people are going to fall off faster than they are joining you. And it's going to be very difficult to keep that up. And,
Momentum
people
loves speed.
Say that?
Momentum loves speed. There we go.
Yeah, and it really does. I mean, with this business, if you want to grow, you've got to hustle. And by hustling, you have got to do it every single day. And you're going to have those people fall off, and they may be business builders. And it, like I said, it sucks. But guess what? It cannot be the determining factor for the rest of your business. One person cannot completely affect you, whether they are a business builder and they have grown, or whether they are a wholesaler. You've got to look at it as it is what it is, and you've got to move on, and you've got to keep focused. And it's like, okay, this person dropped off, and now I got to hustle, and I got to get, a couple more to make up for the ones that are, falling off. But we also have to look at other factors, which Autumn will go into, with people, quitting and not staying on. But it's something that happens in all of our businesses. I mean, we have been so close to certain ranks, and then it's just like, literally, it feels like everyone and their mother has stopped taking the product. And you think to yourself, what am I doing? Like, I cannot even tell you guys, like, how many times I have sat at my table looking at my back office, and I have seen white lines, and I am just like, this is absolutely insane.
Crazy.
Like, this is mind-boggling. But this is the deal. This is like kind of the good news. They don't all stay away forever. And they may start off as wholesale ambassadors, and I am speaking from experience. They have started off as wholesale ambassadors. They have quit. They haven't even really, I don't feel, given it a chance. And I will tell you, I am one thorough person. Like I mean, literally, the one thing I don't do is pour their pink drink, stir it up, and hand them the probiotic. Everything else, I feel like I literally do for them. And so I know it's not a case of me not being thorough enough, but some people just don't understand the importance of these products. And this is why it's very important that we continue our posting. Posting is not just for potentials, you guys. This posting is for our current people that are taking the product.
I'm on a meeting.
Sorry.
Chill out, Pen.
Okay, there you go.
Because it is so important to constantly keep the products in front of potentials as well as current ambassadors. And this is another reason why it's so important to put everybody on the team page, at least the team page, because it just opens up new avenues and new doors for people. But the thing is, I have had people sign, take the product for a month, be completely just like inconsistent, no matter how much direction I have in working with them. And I have literally had people, and then this is the best part, I will message them and they completely ignore me, like I literally don't exist, and they've taken this product and I've signed them up. They won't talk to me. I have had a girl not talk to me for almost a year. And then I wrote her for some reason, I don't know, just like a random hello. It had nothing to do with Plexus. And she was like, girlfriend, you've got to help me get back onto Plexus. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. Okay. And I didn't get all crazy, like, oh my gosh, until she told me, and I want to work this business. And I was like, say what? So I'm just saying, like, we have people, it can be depressing. It can suck. It is like all those horrible things. But if you can keep the mindset and the whole just perspective of this person, we know these products work, point blank. So for this person to fall off, we have got a lot of different things we need to evaluate, which Autumn will go over, but we need to evaluate these things. We need to, self-reflect and all of that. And then either we need to just extend them that grace and that time of being off, because you never know. And this is why I always tell people, like, do not cut your nose to spite your face. No matter who falls off on your team and white lines on you and is like, or whatever, just bless and release and continue to comment on their Facebook, continue to comment and be kind to them, because those people, I cannot tell you how many times people have come back and been like, okay, I am so sorry, I'm ready. And then we're able to grow from there. So people quitting, people falling off, it happens, but it's not always, that they're gone forever.
And really quick, we wrap this up, Rachel mentioned about the team page, and I just want to say what she was saying, add people to the team page. And it's literally, our upline, you guys, our 2 diamond uplines, Aaron Bush and Melissa Eichenhorst, are only here doing this business because they were added to a team page in which they saw what this company was. They felt the camaraderie. They saw the rank advancements. They saw everything, and it inspired them and helped them dream, and it motivated them to come do this business. So if you are not adding, or your team is not adding wholesalers, or anyone to the team page that doesn't sign up with a wholesale account, then you are automatically shooting yourself in the foot. You could have a diamond that, someone that would become a diamond, but yet you didn't add them to the team page. They never caught the vision. And then there you go. You just prejudged for them that they didn't want this. They can remove themselves. Most people don't. But just make sure and always do that. And, Rachel talked about an ambassador that she had that would not talk to her. I had the same thing. Someone, she like, I didn't even ever get a message from her after she got her products. So yeah, don't get that very often, but it does happen. So when people quit, once again, you got to look at yourself and make sure that you did all that you can do. Did you discuss detox with them? Did you, show them these products? Did you share the business? You have to be thorough in everything that you do so that people do well and that hopefully people come and join you in this business. One of the things, when someone is on their way out, let's just say, and they've sent you a message and what have you, one of the best responses you can have is an approach called feel, felt, found. And this is actually good for a lot of things. But, consider what they're saying as to why they're done and obviously address that. But if they're really, really done, then you can, share with them and sympathize with them, how they feel in regards to this issue so they know that they're not alone. And then you can maybe talk about when you felt that way yourself at one time, and then what you have found, which is the truth of the matter. And that, let's say we're talking about detox. What I have found is that, I overcame that detox. So if that person's quitting because of detox, I overcame that, or I've helped other people, or I have friends that went through some rough waters before they saw those greener pastures, before they felt amazing and they arrived. So, that's called feel, felt, found. And it's basically you connecting with them, letting them know that they are not alone in feeling this way, that you felt that way too. And then you're going to tell them what you have found. And it's a very great non-aggressive approach to, hopefully getting people back and letting them know that you're there with open arms. You're not going to pressure them, but that you understand and you are going to love them no matter what. The last thing I want to say is do not let someone walk away that you have not shared the business with. I hope all of you are, pouring into your new ambassadors. I call it a new ambassador consult. But I hope all of you are sharing the full product line with every person that joins, because once again, if you are not, you are shooting your business and yourself in the foot, because there's lots of products that people can benefit from, and too many just take the triplex. They don't know anything else exists. So you need to be showing them, and there's a file in the files called New Ambassador Consult. Follow that and show them the products, and then also present the option for them to get their products paid for, or for them to go on to make a supplemental income from home. But if you do not get around to presenting the business, let's just say for whatever reason, and they're on their way out the door, this happened to me a couple times early on in my business, and I'm like, oh my gosh, because I wasn't doing these New Ambassador Consults yet. I would find myself telling them about the business, and letting them know, despite the fact if maybe they didn't see results, call me crazy, but these products are helping people. Despite whatever you are feeling or not feeling, these products are helping people, and this is an amazing business. And so I found myself telling them that. Now, I recommend you telling them up front as they're just joining so they're more motivated. But at the very least, you do not let them leave without you sharing this business. And I'll tell you a story. I have an ambassador that took the products consistently, and she, followed my lead on everything. And she just didn't see those amazing, feel-good results like we would have hoped, right? Well, does that mean the products work? No, of course not. And that's another training. I could give you a whole lesson on our amazing ingredients. They're doing good things internally, but for whatever reason, she wasn't quite feeling that difference. So I gave her a break, and months down the road, I decided, because I had shared the business a little bit with her, but I wasn't quite as bold. So months down the road, I came back around. And you are going to think I'm crazy, but I told her how much I was making, and I said, you should seriously consider coming to do this business with me, that you can make an amazing income from home. I kid you not. She came and joined me in this business despite her not feeling much of a difference on these products. So once again, if I would not have done that, if I would have not shared my income and shared this business potential, then she would not be here. So once again, you can never prejudge. Even people that don't have results, you go share the business with them. So to conclude, I want you guys, thank you all for hanging in here. It's been an hour and we don't want to take any more time. But, this is your business, you guys. This is your job. This is a job. This is not just a cute little, hobby. I mean, if you want to treat it like a hobby, then you can make hobby money. But if you want to treat it like a job, then you learn what you need, you learn your skills, and you treat it like a job. You work it, you carve out time for it. It has a priority in your life. So consider this in moving forward. Have integrity. Take it serious. Be authentic with your relationships. Some people, Erin Bush had on the team page, she was doing a contest just a couple days ago, and she had people post their follow-ups, right? And what I was seeing in messages is I was seeing one spammy reach out about a special or something about Plexus right above the message that they had just sent out again. There was no other conversation in between, just Plexus spammy message and then another Plexus spammy message. And it's like, where is the relationship? There is no relationship. All this person feels is just like, you just want them for Plexus. You don't care a thing about them otherwise. And it is so important that you build these relationships. You have other conversations. And at the very least, every other conversation is about Plexus, all right? Be patient, you guys. Endure. Be persistent. And of course, as we talked about tonight, expect objections because they will come. That's just part of this business. But as Rachel and I are a living example, as well as so many others, sidelines and some of your uplines, this business is absolutely possible no matter what. So I hope you guys had a great night and learned some things. Rachel, you want to add anything?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Well, God bless you all. We'll see you next week for our utilizing Facebook training. We'll dig a little bit deeper into Facebook. And we've got more deeper into mindset and some verbiage. We're going to try and get a little special guest for you guys for some of these. So, all right. Take care, and we will talk to you soon.
Yep. Have a good one.
Have a good night.